a small but incredibly rich country where a man in a simple white robe wields great influence. This is the Pope, the man behind a $5.1 billion real estate empire and valuable ancient relics. Discover the surprising facts about the hidden world of the Pope and his unknown empire. Pope Francis, the spiritual leader of 1.3 billion Catholics, heads Vatican City, the world's smallest and richest country. Born in Buenos Aires, Argentina, in 1936, he came from a humble family and joined the Jesuit order. After becoming a priest and rising rapidly, he was appointed Archbishop of Buenos Aires and a cardinal. On March 13, 2013, he became the 266th Pope, the first Latin American and the first to take the name Francis. Through his humility and extraordinary leadership, he became a global moral compass, calling for peace, justice, and challenging the privileged. He is a spiritual and political leader, representing the suffering and advocating for global issues such as the environment and inequality. He runs Vatican City, a spiritual kingdom with invaluable assets and global influence. Despite his modest lifestyle, he presides over an organization of immense moral and financial power. Named Person of the Year in 2013, Francis has brought about bold reforms, promoted environmental justice, and expanded interfaith dialogue, transforming the Catholic Church. His invisible empire, where humility conceals power, has had a profound impact on the modern world. Live and lead a hidden world of power and luxury in Vatican City, the smallest but most influential country in the world. With spiritual responsibility, he governs a unique country that is home to priceless works of art and 2,000 years of religious heritage. The Apostolic Palace, his residence, is not only a residence but also a stronghold of power and faith. The Vatican has its own legal system, currency, and security, serving its spiritual mission. The Pope holds supreme authority over religion and state, with influence extending to the 1.3 billion Catholics worldwide. The Vatican is not only a spiritual center, but also houses a network of assets worth billions of dollars. The Apostolic Palace is valued at $2 billion, while the Vatican Gardens are estimated to be worth $1 billion. Castel Gandolfo, the Pope's summer retreat, is worth between $400 to $500 million. The Apostolic Library holds 1.6 million books and 75,000 manuscripts, including precious documents such as the Codex Vaticanus and historical letters. The Apostolic Archives, formerly known as the Secret Archives, contain historical treaties and important documents from figures such as Napoleon, Lincoln, and Roosevelt, and hold untold secrets. The Vatican's collections are estimated to be worth between $2,000 and $5 million in historical and scholarly value, but their true worth is incalculable. While Pope Francis is known for his modest lifestyle, the Vatican is built on sacred treasure, political influence, and an unparalleled cultural empire. It is not just a city or a church, but the heart of the Western spiritual heritage. At its center is Pope Francis, the silent leader of the Vatican. Behind its marble corridors lie vast spiritual and economic treasures, including precious relics such as a piece of wood from Jesus' cross, revealed only on the holiest of occasions. The Vatican's relics are of immeasurable spiritual value, but their material and historical value is estimated to exceed millions of dollars. The Holy Spear, said to have pierced Christ's side, is worth between $30 and $50 million at auction. while the Veronica veil, which depicts Christ, is worth more than $50 million in symbolic value. The collection of relics also includes the bones, clothing, and personal belongings of the apostles, St. Peter and St. Paul, preserved in emerald and amber cases. These relics are not only of sacred value, but also of eternal value, along with more than 7,000 priceless works of art housed in the Vatican museums. The ancient Greek marble statue, discovered in 1506, is worth more than $100 million. Nearby is Raphael's The School of Athens, which could be worth more than $200 million. The Vatican's off-limits grounds also hold a three-tiered crown with more than 1,000 diamonds, rubies, and sapphires. Though no longer in use, the ancient thrones and jewel-encrusted robes remain glorious reminders of the sacred imperial past. The Vatican's collection of relics, vestments, archives, and art is valued at more than $1 trillion. These treasures are not for show or enrichment, but to preserve sacred history for billions of believers. They are not expressions of luxury, but of worship. True influence lies not in the tall buildings, but in the man in white, the guardian of the soul of civilization. Even the Pope's wardrobe reflects power and heritage, with his clothes costing more than a house. A collection of lavish ceremonial garments, each piece both of great material value and of a 1,000-year-old religious tradition. Zeta, a short cloak that changes color according to the liturgical season, handcrafted from premium fabrics. The Camaro, a red velvet hat with a white sable trim, kept warm and symbolized power. The gold fisherman's ring, engraved with the image of St. Peter, had one for each pope and was destroyed after his death to prevent counterfeiting. Liturgical silk gloves embroidered with Christian symbols, worn only during solemn ceremonies. Suta, a white everyday dress made of high-quality Italian wool or silk by Gammarelli, comfortable and formal. The white sash, made of satin or silk, is delicately decorated, and the three-cornered hat with tassels, a symbol of majesty and ancient ceremonial attire. Despite the splendor of his ceremonial attire, Pope Francis's daily life is simple, starting at 4:30 a.m., with prayer and Mass in the small chapel of the Casa Santa Marta. A simple breakfast of orange juice and quince, a traditional Argentinian dish, reflects his austere lifestyle. During the day, the Pope attends diplomatic meetings, holds theological discussions, and receives world leaders. At noon, he eats a quiet meal with close associates, and in the afternoon, he writes, reflects, and answers letters, including those from children, a profound display of compassion. Evening prayer, readings, and a 9 p.m. break. Despite his simple schedule, he plays an important role through international travel, peace missions, and interfaith dialogue. Amid the lavish regalia and rituals, the Pope maintains a balance, combining tradition, modernity, humility, and power. The Vatican is a fusion of faith and finance. Behind the pomp and ceremony lies a financial empire with global influence, with the Pope as the silent manager of one of the world's most complex financial machines. The Vatican's wealth lies not only in art or architecture, but also in more than 100,000 global real estate properties and an investment portfolio that accounts for 7 to 10% of the Italian stock market, demonstrating great financial strength. Of the Vatican's total budget of $1.4 billion in 2023, the St. Peter's Obolo donation, $57 million, and tourism income, especially from the Vatican museums, play a large role. However, COVID-19 has had a serious impact, requiring reforms. In 2014, Pope Francis created the Secretariat for the Economy to oversee Vatican finances, promote transparency through annual reporting, combat money laundering, and cut salaries for cardinals and senior officials. Despite efforts to cut costs, the Vatican is still running a $50 million deficit in 2022 due to expenses exceeding revenues and financial scandals. Pope warns of the risk of imbalance in the pension fund, demands urgent reforms. The Vatican has transferred management of assets from the Secretariat of State to the Apostolic Heritage and created a task force to mobilize believers to increase donations. The Holy See controls assets in many areas with billions of dollars in revenue from parishes around the world. Donations large and small fund the Vatican's missionary work, global aid, and day-to-day operations. Through its nunciatures, the Vatican maintains global diplomatic influence. The Vatican faces financial deficits, internal scandals, and pressure for transparency. Pope Francis has pushed for financial reform, anti-corruption, ethics, and transparency. Revenue from museum admissions and tourism plays a vital role in the restoration of sacred art and architecture. The Vatican's wealth is measured both in money and in global influence. The Pope's voice transcends cultural and political boundaries, but the Vatican still faces the question of how to balance spiritual power with material wealth. The financial might of the Church is both admirable and controversial. Pope Francis seeks to reconcile wealth with a humble mission to serve the poor. Under Pope Francis, wealth becomes a tool for service, demonstrating that the greatest power can be guided by goodness in today's troubled world. Pope Francis, the spiritual leader of more than 1 billion Catholics, is the silent architect of world power, quietly reshaping the global political and moral map. In 2014, he played a key role in reconciling U.S.-Cuba relations through letters and secret meetings at the Vatican. In 2015, he published the encyclical Laudato Si', calling for environmental protection and emphasizing climate change as an urgent issue. This message contributes to promoting the Paris Climate Agreement. The Pope also built interfaith bridges through his visit to Iraq in 2021, meeting with Grand Ayatollah Ali al-Sistani and visiting war zones such as Mosul and Karakuk. In the financial sector, he has reformed the management of Vatican assets, requiring officials to declare that they have no criminal record and avoid money laundering, tax evasion, and corruption. This combination of soft power and morality has made Pope Francis a deeply influential figure, reshaping the world's perception of peace, justice, and the protection of the planet. The Vatican, in addition to being a religious center, is also an independent state with an incredible history of power. It endured 6 decades of isolation after being annexed by the Kingdom of Italy in 1870. For nearly 60 years, the Vatican did not recognize the authority of the Kingdom of Italy until the Lateran Treaty of 1929, signed by Benito Mussolini on behalf of Italy, officially recognized the Vatican as an independent state. The treaty also paid the Vatican $92 million, equivalent to more than $1 billion today, in reparations for the loss of the former papal states. The Swiss Guard, the world's smallest army, was established in 1506 and is renowned for its colorful uniforms and elite fighting skills. The members of the Guard are all Catholics, Swiss nationals, have completed military service and meet high moral and physical requirements. The Vatican also has a special population of about 800 people, mostly clergy and guards, with no hospital, so no one is born there. Vatican citizenship is based on employment, usually ending when the job is terminated. Many Vatican citizens serve in diplomatic missions around the world. The Vatican Museums and the Sistine Chapel are a huge art treasure trove, housing masterpieces by Michelangelo, Raphael, etc., attracting millions of visitors each year and contributing greatly to the Vatican budget. What surprised you the most about the Pope, the priceless relics, the secret archives, or the beautiful Vatican real estate? Share your opinion and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next interesting stories.